How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Omar Rayyan. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is such a cool artist. I really dig his style. He's got this blending of a mix of Renaissance art with whimsy and the imagination in such a unique way. I love his draftsmanship, and his color choices are just superb as well. This one in particular I just really felt drawn to. I thought the looseness of the line work and the way that this character's just rendered fully out works really well. Nice lighting and with the shadows really done so well. But he's got such a fun sensibility about him. Just this ogre here smelling the flower, just such a fun take on that. And then you have the dichotomy of a severed head off to the side. It's just really wonderful. And again, he uses this lovely watercolor style that really accentuates his work so well. So I urge you guys to check out more stuff from him. I'll throw some links down in the description below if you want to see more of his wonderful work. Great posing and great silhouettes here as well. And you have this nice flow and line of action throughout these characters as well that really helps accentuate the posing and the expressions. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find from him. And he said, "I like painting things that tell stories. So despite how you are led to a subject, trying to find the hidden narrative becomes the challenge." And this is something that I don't know that I emphasize enough in my work at this point right now, but it's something that I'm looking towards and trying to incorporate more is the storytelling aspect, not just visually interesting and not just like body mechanics correct, but you know, what is the end result of what you're doing? Is there a narrative that someone's going to be able to take away, and either it puts a smile on their face or it causes them to think, or what is kind of the message that you want to get across with your work? And at least with the videos that we do and we share each and every day, the main goal of doing those is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you and push you and urge you guys to use your imagination and use your creativity and carve out some time each and every day to work on your own dreams. That's why I keep up this schedule so that I can do a video each and every day. So even if you don't have time to watch it, or you don't even click on it for whatever reason, you'll see it in your subscription feed if you're a subscriber here that there's another video. And if you didn't think of it yet, you'll see that and you'll have a reminder to go work on your own dreams. And that's the main goal, is to try and get a hugely imaginative, creative force in here that has their own unique perspectives, that is putting stuff out in the world that has, you know, it's not from the 5 main groups that put things out that have multi-million-dollar backers and everything, but it's from individuals and their own experiences and their own unique voices that are getting out. So that's my hopefully the goal that I get with these videos. But I think in my work especially, I probably want to push storytelling more than I have been. So that's a good quote for me to really mull over, and maybe it'll cause you guys to think about you know, what's the meaning behind the work that you're creating as well. But let's go ahead and get into some animation. We're continuing the shot that we started yesterday. We're using the Wolfdog rig, which is a free rig you can grab over at Creative Crash, the Goon rig, which is from the How to Cheat in Maya series, and we're using Autodesk Maya 2014. For more information on that and all the stuff we've talked about so far, check out the links in the description below. And let's go ahead and get in here and start breaking this thing down. So we got a real rough version of just kind of the run in. Now I want to do the jump here. That's going to be over. So let's go ahead and turn our nerve curves on, and we'll start looking at this thing. So let's push back to about 70 frames here. And then the next one we'll have go back here. I'm not really going to lock in my timing just yet, but just want to kind of get this built up here. So keep it a little more rotate there. Try and get those planted right at the edge here. And then bring that forward here. Get our knees forward. Bring this down here. Rotate it up a little bit. What about these knees here? I'll have to figure something out. Get that brought down a little bit more here. And get that tail up there. And we'll get these feet so they're kind of lifting towards front. Just get that nice push off if we can here. And start leading with this one a little bit more here. Maybe drag it a little bit. And this one, push it forward a little bit, but also still have it on there. So we'll start with something like that. Grab those two, and we'll keep them a little bit tighter there, so we don't have that move quite yet. So these guys will still want to make sure we hold them. We'll just hold them till 44 for right now. Or till 42. We'll have to really clean that up in a little bit. I just want to get the main ideal here working. I think we want to push this down a little bit more if we can. Maybe arc it up a little bit. Maybe not that low. And let's keep twisting this till we get those. Maybe push those knees out in X a little bit more here. Just so we get them outside of the body here. I'm sure we'll have to push this one over to the other side here. If you saw yesterday, or maybe it'll be a couple days by the time this goes up, I'm going to start playing around a little bit with some stop motion stuff. It's nothing that I'm looking to necessarily do for like tutorials or anything, but just kind of playing around with the medium a little bit to try and push myself so I start thinking a little bit differently. I think that's a good thing to do every once in a while, is to play with different mediums that still would affect the wheelhouse. So if you're really into drawing and doing pencil drawings and stuff, doing some painting can help inform back and forth. Or you know, if you're animating, then sometimes doing it hand-drawn animation versus 3D animation, you can kind of flip back and forth and learn from all of those. So you might see more of those coming through in the channel. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it or anything, but it's just fun stuff to play around with. So that stuff will probably be off and on for a little bit, just when I get free time. Try and do those maybe once every few days or so, just to try and continue to push my eye and develop my animation in a little bit different way. Because I feel like sometimes reading books and going to classes and doing all that kind of stuff can only get you so far. Sometimes you have to try different mediums as well. I think that's a very helpful thing to do. So if you guys are feel like you're not in a rut, but you want to push yourself in a different way, try doing that too. I think it'll be a fun little experiment, and I'm having fun doing it, so I hope you guys will enjoy that too. And if you have any ideas or anything, because I'm completely a noob when it comes to anything stop motion. So if you know any good channels or anything, check out, let me know as well. Okay, let's continue. I just want to get that push off. Okay, let's start getting, maybe even drag that a little bit more. Where's that other foot controller over here? And rotate it back a little bit. Alright, so we'll keep those. Keep what we have there for maybe one more frame. Put that there. And again, I'm sure I'm going to tweak the timing and all this. Just want to get the poses built in here. And we'll go a couple more frames. And bring that forward, up, over, rotate it up. And I'll just key this just for sake right there, because I want to get a better pose here. There, and bring these arms or legs up here, and bring that back a little bit, down a little bit, bring these, try to find a good drag here. Rotate them back there a little bit more. Try to get a good silhouette here for us as well. Now we're going to want to keep these till 48 planted on there. Make sure we set everything here. Maybe one more that's up a little bit higher. These up and over. Rotate them out a little bit. Get those knees forward here. Maybe a little less drag there. And bring the knee over a little bit more. Something feels a little off on there, so maybe we'll get that butt going down a little bit more. Probably not break that so much. And we'll go a couple frames. Again, I'm not sure that I'm going to leave this pose exactly like that, but just get a rough idea for where we're going with this. Let's go 55 here. We'll grab these and we'll move them over a bit more and drop them down on the ground here. Probably a little bit further here. How far we gotta go? Oh, we got a ways to go on there. Alright, and flat mount here. Lift that one there. Bring this over. down, down, rotate it down here. Let's go bring that down a little bit. Drag that back a little bit more. And get these feet over, down. Get those knees down, over as well. Drag that foot back a little bit more here. That one as well. Great. Let's keep that puffed out a little bit more. And rotate that back a little bit still. Bring that down. We'll have to clean that up a little better as we go. I like this pose though, I think that one works okay. And this one's okay. So let's look at our feet here. I'll key both of those. Let's go ahead and delete this one. And we'll raise everything up a little bit so we get a better in-between pose there. And we'll flick those up a little bit more. And let's look at the feet here. Let's go up a little bit higher. There. The knees. There. And then I think we're going to need to move this forward a little bit more. I think it's a little too straight down. I want a little more of an arc there. So let's see. And probably that would be a little bit more over here too. And let's push this over a bit more too. That as well. And this one as well there. I think all this should be up a little bit more. And over, about like that. Just so we get a little more of an arc here throughout that. And probably a little more like that. Again, we'll polish through all this stuff at a later time, but just trying to build that all in through our first pass here. Yeah, we'll probably need another one that kind of breaks down how that comes together, but that's okay. So let's go a couple frames later. Bring that forward and down. Bring these guys down here. Rotate them out. Down. And rotate that up here. Bring that down here. Get those knees over. And bring that down a little bit more over. I think these feet should be up a little bit more. In a little bit. Maybe even similar to how we had them before, where they pass in front a little bit. here. Forward, try and get it a little bit flatter on the ground there. And this should be a little bit lower. Okay, yeah, that could be a little bit further down here. Okay, so let's just look at a really rough play blast of that, and that's what, pretty much 42. Let's end it at 57 and just see how that works. It's still going to be real rough, I know, but I'll just see how it's working together. Alright, it's okay. Again, this is still just kind of a rough pass getting the main ideas working here. I feel like it holds probably a little too much on the lift off or the anticipation, and we could hold it for a little bit more at the top of the arc here as well. So let's go ahead and look at that for our timing here. So pretty much everything there, we could cut a frame out of that. I think what we need to do is just add another frame here that's still at the other side of the arc, basically. So let's look at our translate Y's there. Just gonna lift that up a little bit more. And our translate Z. Try to get that to look a little bit better here. Okay, I think that's probably going to look a little bit better. Let's go ahead and play blast that. Alright, I think we can still polish up that arc a little bit better. Feels a little flat, so maybe we could just go up a little bit higher on there. Okay, so let's look at, I think this is our highest point here. Go a little bit higher there. And this could be a little bit further over in Z. Let's take everything here, just push it a little bit further. Again, it's not perfect yet, but I'm still trying to get it to all work a little bit better. Maybe we take everything here and we just give us one more frame to get there. Hold on here. So just push that over one. That should give us the right thing, right? Let's make sure we lock in the feet here. Actually, we could probably even push them over a little bit more there. key in there. Okay, again, let's make sure like that. This is too far over, so I'll bring those back a little bit. And these ones especially a little too high. Probably do something more like that. And this needs to be a little bit higher here. A little bit over and a little bit higher. Alright, let's watch that, see if that arc in our spacing feels a little bit better. It's a little better, but I think we could still do a little better here. So let's go ahead and take everything here, and we'll push it back a little bit more. And same there. Get a little more of an arc there. Maybe raise it up a little bit higher here. No. It needs to be a little bit lower. I think part of it's the rotate as well, but that just needs to be cleaned up a little bit better. So let's look at the rotate X here. Try to clean that up a little bit better. And let's look at our translate Z here. Let's try to see if that looks a little better. I think we just might have one too many frames in between here. Set that. Set that. We'll go ahead and delete this one. And we'll cut a frame out of there. It's just a little too slow there. Go ahead and delete that one. And let's play blast that and see how we like that. It's alright, but I think it still goes down a little too harsh of an angle. I want a little more curvature there. So let's see. I think it's a lot of it's just the translate Z and the rotate here as well. So let's push this so it's a little bit further here. much rotate X there too. Still want all of this to be a little bit more over. A little bit higher probably there. A little bit more over. Push it further. Just get a big arc in there. And then putting that forward here. Hold on. Just push that forward there. It's too far. And that's a little too far there. Alright, it's a little better. Still has a little bit of slippage, so let's go ahead and... Alright, we got a lot of cleanup and everything to do, but I think the main info is there. The main arc that we need for everything to feel okay. And then let's look at that slippage at the end here, which I think is mainly just going to be on this foot. We want it to hold. Yeah, we got to get those knees forward here. And let's look there. Go ahead and get the translate Z there a little bit better. Okay, and let's look back from our actual camera that we'd be shooting from. And let's play blast kind of the whole thing here and just see how we're looking. Again, it's still real rough. It's just the main meat and potatoes of how this is going to work. So it's okay. I think there might still be a little bit of spacing in the arc here for how it goes. I think it might be a little too far, too much in there, so it'd be somewhere in there. It's too much. Let's see. And let's do 2 more run steps off camera here. So we run off of where we're shooting from. So let's go 70 here. Turn our curves back on. Get our feet going again. And we'll set that. And we'll try and go back to where we were. So there's our front feet here. These guys will go 3 frames later. Have them up here. What's going on with that foot? Why are you acting funky here? Oh, it's a back foot. Great. Good job. Look at this foot here. Bring it forward. Up. Over a little bit. And bring those forward a little bit more. Bring this up and over. That might need to be a little more up there. And I think this would be about a frame sooner. Sounds about right. And then we'll go. We do that when we were looking at it first. Got that. Then we go 3 frames later, and then 3 frames later. Okay. So where are we? Where's our guy? Oh, I'm gonna put it back on the right frame here. Okay. And 3 frames later, we'll have pop these over, bring them back down on the ground here. Bring that over, up, rotate it down. And these guys. Set there. Get that rotation up here. And what was that? 3 frames later, we'll want them to be kicking back up in the air. Rotate them back. Pull them a little bit forward here. A little bit more up, a little more down here. And maybe those would be a little more in. A little more up, back. And we're going to need to go over a bit more. Translate Z here. Okay, get those knees over as well. And we'll go, again, we want to make sure we lock in everything here. Set that. Set that. And then we have 3 more frames from there, where we're going to bring these feet forward, down, over, and rotate them up. knees forward here. This down, over, up. And these feet would be up, over, and drag down a little bit here. Get that down here. And I think these feet would be down a little bit lower. Back feet here. Maybe a little less rotate as well. We'll go ahead and bring that one back a little bit more. Okay, and let's look at our timing again. I want to make sure that I'm keeping pretty similar timing here. So we have 3 and 2. Let's look just at the timing on the hip here. So 3 frames from there to there, 2 frames out, and 3 frames. Okay. So we have this one. Again, want to make sure that we key everything here. And I go 2 frames forward here. Go a little further forward. Rotate them down, flat. Go there. These guys would be up and over. This is over. Stretch it out, bring it up. Rotate those feet out a little bit more. Back up a little bit. Bring the head over a bit more, down, over. Maybe a little less rotate X, we'll see. And again, we want to do that on 2, not on 3. So bring that hip back here. And bring that one back 1 frame here too. Okay, and then we're going to go 3 frames from there, which would be, hold on a second. All right, where are we? I'll go 3 frames from here. Flat those feet off. Bring them down here. Forward a little bit more. Bring that down. Rotate it. Lift it up a little bit. Get these feet over and up. And rotate them back. A little more down. Over. A little more back here. Alright. And get those knees over. And I'm sure I'll have to push that a little bit further. Okay. Now I'll grab everything, we'll push it over a bit. let's see how we're looking from our regular camera angle here. Oh, did I butch that camera? I guess I did. Okay, let's turn it again here. And turn our curves off. And let's just see how this plays out here. Alright, it's okay. Still think there's probably a little bit of spacing thing there. But let's do, at least we gotta do another little bit so he's off screen here. Okay. And let's go back to our other perspective here. Give me what, about 77 frames here. Turn our nerve curves back on. Set those guys where it would be 3 frames later, be here. Rotate those feet forward. Bring something like that. Bring the hip forward here. Down. And rotate it up. Bring those knees forward. And get these feet so they're up off the ground a little bit, because in order to get a run you gotta have a couple frames where the feet are not touching the ground, otherwise it's just a real fast walk. And then we'll go from here 2 frames later, zero that out, bring them up a little bit so they're flat on the ground, and forward a little bit more. Grab these feet here, bring them forward and up. Head over, rotate it up a little bit, bring that down here. Get these feet over and rotate it up a little bit more. Set that, set those, go 3 frames later, get that over, zero out the rotate, bring them down here so they're on the ground, bring the hips over here, up, rotate it here, and bring these over, up, and rotate them back. Booty out a little bit. And bring it up a little bit more. And rotate it down a little bit. And bring those forward a little bit more. And I'm sure we're going to need to push that forward a little bit more here too. Alright, and let's look back at our perspective, see if we're off. I think we need to do one more key, which would be put us at 80 frames here. So again, we'll go back here, lock in those, and bring those forward to 80, just so we're really off screen here. Rotate that forward, down, over, and bring the hip forward, down, rotate it up, get those knees over here, bring that booty down a little bit, get those feet up and over with a little bit of drag, and see if we're all the way off cam there, or if we need to do, yeah, we're fine. Okay, so let's just do another play blast here, And again, this is just real rough. It's just the main bulk information that we need for to start with, really. We've got our feet and our hips in the positions that we need them to be in relatively. I'm sure we'll do some more polish and cleanup from that point on, but let's go ahead and watch this. Alright, so we've got all the bulk of the information that we need on this thing in there to get started and actually get into putting some life and some personality and some character and some just variety into this thing. But we have all the bulk information that we need to do this, so that's great. We have a little bit of time left over, so let's see if we can't maybe do just a real quick up and down pass on the Goon rig here as well. At least get started on that, because we still have another 10 minutes or so to play around with here. Shoot. Put my camera angle off a little bit here. Let's go back somewhere like that. No, it's too far. Something like that. And let's go back to this perspective here, and let's just see if we can throw in a little bit of animation on the Goon rig here. So we have that there. It's probably be this one where it'd be high up. And that one where it'd be really down, right? And then that'd be about here, or it'd be back down again. And then again, what frame do we throw that on? Probably about here. We'd have it again up. And then down again. And we'll have to break this down, I'm sure, way further, but it gives us a place to start with. Down again. Up there. Down there. Up here. Down there. This one would be up. Probably down a little bit more here. Probably the highest you'd be up would be about right there. And this would be down again. Up again. Down again there. Got a lot of cleanup still to do in here, but we're getting there. here, down there, up here, and down there. Alright, let's do another play blast on this thing here. Alright, like I said, still extremely rough, but we have all the main bulk necessary to start really getting into this and adding some real life to it. So that's good. But let's look back at where we started. We're looking at the beautiful work of Omar Rayyan. He said, "I like painting things that tell stories. So despite how you are led to a subject, trying to find the hidden narrative becomes the challenge." A couple little things I didn't touch on in the beginning here is I like the thing that he says, despite how you are led to the subject. I think that's interesting because he talks about maybe you're working on a project that you wouldn't think that you'd want to work on, but you can maybe find things hidden within the project that you can really exaggerate or play with that you do like about it, and that you can infuse your personality and your own worldview and those things that make you uniquely you into the story or into the narrative or into the image or into the animation or whatever it is. Like maybe you can, if you're doing facial animation, you can add a smile that your niece has that you really like, that you can infuse that into it, so you can add a little personality there and add that hidden narrative in there and just infuse stuff with your own personality and all that. So I thought that was, again, another interesting kind of tidbit in this quote that he was talking about. So thanks for hanging out with me. We're still chugging along on this shot. I think this will take a little while to get through, but we have a lot of the bulk that we needed just to get it to start coming to life here, so that's great. I want to do a bit of side to side here with him too, so the steps might chug from left to right a little bit more too, not just the hips and everything, but actually the movement of the body could bound a little bit there too. So we'll get in here and break things up, because right now really all we have is that back hip and a real flat timing with the feet here. But this is the meat and potatoes part, so that part takes a while to just get chunking along. So I think that's a good first pass on everything, so we know where we're going to go from here. We know that the rough idea is going to work for us. So thanks for hanging out with me. I think you guys are wonderful and awesome. Probably doing a few more stop motion things here and there, like I said. So if you guys have hints or tips or tricks or people to check out in that world, I'm totally new to that world, but I think it'll be fun to add some more different types of animation to the channel as well. Thanks again for all the likes and subscribes. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I urge you guys to do so. You'll remember this conversation, this time we shared together, and you'll see that there's a new video from me each and every day, and it'll remind you to carve out some time to work on your own dreams. And I think that'll wrap it up, because I feel like I'm getting rambly. So we will see you for some more animation, some more imagination, some more creativity, and some more working on our journeys together, day by day, step by step, with all the fun and frivolity that we can muster and share together. So you guys are awesome, and keep being awesome, and we'll see you tomorrow.